Well, I'll tell you what, fellas. I mean, I know one guy who is a culture fit, absolute culture fit, a lot of grit with this individual. He does a very, very good job on his own channel, which you guys, I'm sure, tune into all the time. Lions Talk by Chat Sports. Own MicroMike. Mike, how you doing today? Welcome to the
show. I am alive, but that epic intro you did for me is a lie. I am terrible content creator. I'm a loser, failure, and I like to sleep all day. Long sleeps on the couch and scratch my 2 points of contact.
It's fair, Mike. Well, Mike,
you hold himself accountable in some ways, just a little too much.
Absolutely.
You put out fine content, Mike. Very good content producer. You wouldn't be on this show if not.
Well, that's a good thing. At least I'm
well, Mike, even for laying on the couch and scratching your ass, you're doing pretty well for yourself. All right, you're doing pretty well, Mike. And I want to ask you to start off here. I know you've been making a ton of content just like we are about just the OTAs and minicamp. I want to ask you to start just some couple of the favorite storylines from training camp. I know we'll get into specifics, but anything that stood out to you specifically that you'd like to bring up first, or maybe a topic you've been talking the most about on your show, maybe a positional group or a player?
Positional group, the DBs there, Carlton Davis and Terrion Arnold had a pretty good OTAs and minicamp, and it's really good to see these guys get together and kind of lock down the sides of the corner. You look at last year with Cam Sutton, Kindle Vildor, Will Harris, whoever the hell it was out there. It was an absolute train wreck, and now you're seeing Carlton Davis, who we traded for, and a lot of people's like, oh, he's not a good player. He's doing really good in minicamp and OTAs, and then you got Terrion Arnold, who is right there with them. And it's a nice combination that we're seeing right now in the practices. And it is a great piece of news as we head towards training camp.
Yeah, Mike, I guess a lot of the talk too coming out of OTAs, minicamp, at least for me, I'll be the one to admit it, at least to me, is like the wide receiver room. And we've heard even Ben Johnson, different people come out and say like, that's something, I think it was actually Randall L. I think he came out and said that he expects like this is going to be a work in progress here with the wide receivers. What are your expectations here after minicamp and OTAs heading to training camp with this offense? I know it's been top 5 for the back-to-back years, but do you think some of these back-end wide receivers step up, DPJ, these guys, and then obviously the other weapons on the offense kind of just keep improving?
Yeah, you look at this depth here and you're trying to wait for somebody to break out that is, that we generally don't talk about. And there's actually one player that's rising right now. How about Darius Fountain, wide receiver? He's shown a lot of promise in OTAs and minicamp. And what I'm hearing, he probably could make it over Antoine Green. So that's a really intriguing matchup, if you ask me, because look, we need help at the wide receiver, and Fountain, he's a big body, kind of like Josh Reynolds, 6'2", near 205, 210 pounds. That's a big body guy. So if he's doing this in OTAs and minicamp, and if he continues this in preseason, we got a big body guy that no one really talked about potentially making this roster. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I like him. We haven't heard really too much. He's doing okay. Khalif Freeman is doing good. I think Jameson Williams is the other wide receiver everybody's watching. He's making big catches, but he made some drops. I do see him getting better, though, in his route running and physicality. So I'm not too worried about Jameson Williams. I think the wide receiver battle is going to be fun at the very end. I'm really looking at Darius Fountain and see if this guy can make it and be an unexpected 53-man roster candidate.
And Mike, staying with the receiver room, but shifting out of Detroit and looking over at San Francisco. I don't know if you guys saw the video that was released today, but Brandon Aiyuk, he was on the phone with Jaden Daniels, and he pretty much said, and you can't confirm it, but referring to the 49ers, and Jeff, if you want to play the video, he says that they don't want him back. So when you see this, Mike, we'll play the video. What do you think when it relates to the Lions and the possible loss of Brandon Aiyuk on the 49ers?
Let's play it real quick. Let's react to it. Let's play it.
He got me vlogging this shit.
Bro, what?
Bro.
They said they don't want me back. I swear. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I think because you could tell, like, even under the post when it was under, like, you could tell like he was emotional. Like the video kept going. He was like, it's tears. Like, I'm like, I don't know, I'm emotional, but you could tell like he's tore up about it. So I think it's legitimate.
It's a good thing, Mike, for the Lions. Good thing.
Great thing. And in San Francisco, they better do something quick because good old Brock Purdy is going to be getting a mega contract at some point. All these nice little elements that they have in this team, like hey, Brandon Aiyuk or Deebo Samuel and Smith and every damn good player that they have in their team, they're going to start to lose it. And I love that Brandon Aiyuk is not wanted back. I pray that every content creator in San Francisco just takes a big old dump on their team and pray that they get rid of this guy. It'd be great. Look, we're looking at the San Francisco 49ers. That's the teams that we're matching up with. And if Aiyuk, maybe he doesn't play. I don't know. But if he's not there, that's significant for the Lions for the whole season. And of course, when we face the San Francisco 49ers, they can't pay everybody. And this is what we've been waiting for this damn team. Is their quarterback get the mega contract and welcome to the real world of the NFL. Aiyuk's can't get paid. I truly hope this is the case because San Francisco, anytime they lose talent's a plus for the Lions.
Yeah, well said, Mike. I'll ask you this because it's something to kind of foreshadow for the season. Booner asked a question. I thought it was a really good question. How many All-Pros, he asked us, for both sides of the ball? I think the number we came up with for offense, and I know it's a lot to kind of process right now on the spot, but do you see guys like Frank, Sam, Amon-Ra, these players repeat, Panay, to be maybe Jameer? Do you think All-Pro next season? How many do you have? I know defensively you look at Aiden to potentially make an All-Pro this year. Where are you at with the amount of All-Pros the Lions could potentially have this upcoming season with some players getting older, more experienced, guys having breakout seasons? Where are you leaning? Maybe any new players you foresee having a breakout season, maybe to jump to that All-Pro? I think Brian Branch could potentially be a candidate. That was one of my guys.
I got 53 players All-Pro. No, I'm joking here.
Whole roster.
I think you look at Panay Sewell, definitely going to be an All-Pro. Frank Ragnar, I'd like to put him there. I'm not going to do that due to the injury history for that. I wonder if Zeitler can do it as well. I think that Jahmyr Gibbs could absolutely be All-Pro. I think he's having a big year. St. Brown could be an All-Pro. Laporta can be an All-Pro. I would love to put Jared Goff there, but you know how they don't do our quarterbacks, so I'm just not going to do that because of the NFL, not because he's not good enough. Aiden Hutchinson, he's on the cusp. There's a lot of good edge rushers, so if he can get 15 or plus 16, maybe he can make that. It's quite difficult, though. Linebackers, I don't see anything. Maybe a Lee McNeil or DJ Reader, potentially one of those guys. In the secondary, Brian Branch, I'm with you. I think he has the potential to do that for sure. Really. Look, I like Terrion Arnold. I like Carlton Davis. I don't know about All-Pro, though. I think that's pretty much it for the Detroit Lions. I think it is.
Yeah, agreed.
I like it. Mike, I want to ask you this. You just mentioned Aiden Hutchinson potentially. It's tough, especially at that position to take that jump. Last week, I did come out and say that I feel like Aiden Hutchinson this year will win Defensive Player of the Year and make a jump to where you could see him go from whatever 11 and a half all the way up to 15 plus and be in that conversation. I said last week, I think it's some of these awards are awards built on the media and hype. And once you kind of get that momentum, then you start, your name is out front. And that's kind of what happened with Myles Garrett. Do you see that jump happening with Aiden Hutchinson this year? Like, will you hop on? Can I asked someone last week, can I get your endorsement, Defensive Player of the Year, Aiden Hutchinson in 2024? Or where are you at with that? Do you see that happening?
I agree with you about the news and how they do it with the media. They're generally put the names in there that gets All-Pro. It's kind of a little bit of a popularity contest, so I do agree with you right there. When it comes to Aiden Hutchinson, look, I think he's going to have 15 plus sacks this year. I really do. If you look at his rookie year, he's still got rookie baby muscles, right? He wasn't fully built last year. He built like a tank, but now he's even more, and he's added more pass rushing moves like the spin move that he used at the end of the season as well as in the playoffs that really made it effective. But I think it's more important that when you got a DJ Reader and a Lee McNeil both on the defensive line, it's going to free him up. And we know that he can get pressures. It's just the sacks. But if he gets more free ups, way more than he did last year, then he absolutely should be in that consideration. If he gets 15 plus sacks, that's got to be in the conversation, right, of Defensive Player of the Year. If he gets 16, 17 up there and he's matching with somebody else, maybe a Nick Bosa, it should be. It's going to be difficult. It's hard to get that. But, yeah, you absolutely can get Defensive Player of the Year. Every single season he's grown. He's gotten better, and better, and this is year 3 for Hutch. This is the magical year that we all wait for players, is year 3. I do think it's going to blow up. Could he get that? I'll go like 40%. I'll go 40%. Right?
That's better than zero.
It's better than zero. It's not generally because I think Hutchinson sucks or anything. It's more of you look at the other teams and who they covet. Nick Bosa is always up there, right? You're always going to have him in there. And apparently I just started snowing in Ford Field here while I'm talking to you. It's quite difficult, but I'll give it a 40%.
Hey, the Aiden Hutchinson stuff. You should have said 100 and it wouldn't have snowed there.
Hey, Jake Bates isn't going to like that, Mike. Not going to like the snow.
Master Jake Bates is pretty upset with me with this half snow. He's like, dude, I'm trying to get a 65-yarder, but it's snowing, you a-hole. So,
yeah, Mike, you led into my question. You would have thought Adam Vinatieri signed here last week. The people's champ, Jake Bates. What's your reaction to him joining the potential 53-man roster? Obviously, he's got to prove himself. He's got to go up against the Money Badger and James Turner, who's actually had a really good training camp. But what's your reaction to Jake Bates officially being part of the Lions?
Bates.
Slow down. Look, I know a lot of people's hyped about it, but he's 17 to 22. He's got a big leg. He's kicked some big kicks, but it's a competition, and he did it for the UFL. Now he's going to have an opportunity to do it in an NFL game in preseason and in training camp. Look, everybody's just writing off James Turner and Michael Badgley, but they've had a pretty good camp or OTAs and minicamp so far, as well as I'm getting a snowstorm here. Look, I'm pumping the brakes just a tad bit. I don't know what in the hell is going on, but I don't know who's going to win, but all I know is I lost.
The snowstorm's killing me, Mike.
Well, you know what, Mike? I got one for you here. The front office, Brad Holmes hired Charlie Atkins from the Cardinals today, and I made a video just kind of talking about why Lions fans should be prepared for Brad Holmes' front office tree. You see it with Adam Peters and with the Commanders, formerly under John Lynch. You see it with Nick Caserio, with the Texans, with the Patriots prior. You see guys being hired away from good organizations, because if I'm another team in the NFL, I'm looking at the Lions going, okay, I want what they have, but I can't get Brad Holmes and I can't get Dan Campbell. That's why assistants are going to be hired away from under Dan Campbell, Ben Johnson being one of them. What do you think about that Brad Holmes front office tree? And I think Mike Disner is a candidate. I think Ray Agnew is a candidate. How far do you think this tree could potentially go, and how much do you think the league, it's a copycat league and people see what the Lions are doing with culture and it's working. Do you agree with that take about a Brad Holmes front office tree spread across the NFL?
Absolutely. It absolutely is going to be happening here. And trends always happen in the NFL. And what the Detroit Lions did, Chris Spielman did, Sheila Ford Hamp, and the rest has got a coach who's former player, who then hired a bunch of former players to help this team. And they've seen how well that worked for the Detroit Lions. I think you're going to see a lot of teams start doing this. Former players becoming more of coaches. You've seen Antonio Pierce over there for the Raiders. You see the Patriots, the Titans, they just fired their former head coach that was a player. But I think you're going to see a trend now where people are going to look at the Lions way and start to say, you know what, that could be something that we go after. And I agree with you with the Lions tree, like a Mike Disner, potentially an Aaron Glenn, right? Ben Johnson's already beloved by many teams. Dave Fitt, pretty good special coordinator. I don't know if he'll ever get a head coach because he's a fucking special teams coordinator. But you look at all the players, as well as, like you said, in scouting, I think you're going to see scouts get poached away a little bit because the Lions are so good with the draft. Anyone close to Brad Holmes, they're seeing the success of the draft. They're seeing the success of getting talent. You're seeing the success of the coaching talent. And other teams, if you're like the Giants or if you're another team out there that's kind of a bottom feeder, look at the Detroit Lions, who had a terrible culture, a terrible franchise for 70, 80 years. And look how they switched it this quick. If they're a team, if I'm an owner, that's what I'm kind of looking at right now. Screw the Patriot way. That was a failure. But if you look at what the Lions did, why not kind of copy that a little bit? Let's start poaching some of these guys. And, thankfully, Ben Johnson wanted to stay here in Detroit. And but it's only a matter of time before we lose these guys and they become coach candidates, general manager candidates, all of that.
I think it's a good thing once you start seeing things like that with coaches in front office. That means we're doing something right. Mike, I want to go back to football a little bit here. With the Lions, just season as a whole, I've been hearing a lot of, and I'm sure you've been hearing the same thing with the Packers kind of competing here with the Lions for the NFC North. And I know we talked about AJ Hawk last week on our show about how he said that it's basically now the Packers division again. And there's just all this, there was a lot with it. I kind of 2-part question here. One, I kind of want to know what your early record prediction is for the Detroit Lions. We really haven't asked you that this offseason. And 2, where are you at with kind of the Packers competing here with the Detroit Lions? Is that like something that we should seriously be worried about? Or if it's, hey, no, this is still the Detroit Lions division to lose this year?
Hey, man, the media is so funny. It's 1-year window, and it's over. We're going back to the Green Bay Packers. Well, you got to tell the players on the Lions roster that it's over, and coaching staff that, to me, has one of the best rosters in football, best coaching staff in football. You better tell them that it's over first. I don't think they're just going to give up here. Look, the Packers are a team that we got to watch for in the NFC North. I think they're going to be a good team. They can get to 10 wins for sure. Young talent, Christian Watson with Bo over there, and then you got obviously Love over there, and they just got Josh Jacobs over there. They got a good team, but the Lions are better. I have the Lions getting 11 to 12 wins. I do, and I think the Packers are a 10-win football team. But all these people saying the Packers it's automatically, I think what Mike Greenberg did that as well. It's kind of a joke. I mean, we have been outdoing the Packers again and again. And again, they wanted to get they wanted to get that kicker, Jake Bates. The Detroit Lions got him. They wanted Terrion Arnold. The Lions traded up to get him, pissed off the general manager. Oh, Brian Branch. We keep screwing the Packers, so screw the Packers. The Lions are going to win this division again and be a good football team. Romeo Dobbs, that's what it was, not Doob.
Love
Either
to hear
way.
it, Mike. And I think another spot where the Lions definitely got the Packers is taking players out of Iowa. You look at the Packers, Lucas Van Ness, great pick. Yeah, not so much. But then you look at Sam Laporta, you look at Jack Campbell. I look at Jack Campbell, there's a lot of hype around him. What do you think the path for him to reach that? Because I think we've all talked about it. We think he can be a Pro Bowl caliber type of linebacker this year, but what do you think needs to happen in order for him to reach that potential?
Jack Campbell, he's got all the physical tools. We all know. We all scouted him before the draft of last year's draft. He's big. He's sideline to sideline. He's good in tackling. He just needs to get more playing time. To me, that's really it. I think he's on the right trajectory, gets more playing time, and look, if he continues to improve, maybe he'll be LB2. Him and Derek Barnes are going to fight it out, but really, all he needs is time. I know that's may not be what people want to hear, but each game he's going to get better and better. And I've been hearing in OTAs and minicamp of how much he has improved. I don't know how much he's improved, but he has improved. So give this guy snaps. That's really it. I don't know what else to say. I mean, he's just improving each game here. He's not a bust or anything. I think everybody got caught up with the 3 rookies that did so good last year, and Gibbs, Laporta, and Branch, that they forget that sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get better, and they slowly worked him in. I mean, we've seen the Saints game where he played Mike linebacker. He did really good job. I think that's more of his position, but right now just playing time. That's it. I think, when Alex Anzalone eventually leaves, he'll be the Mike guy, and who knows who else is going to be with him. Just time. That's it.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate your time, Mike. And you guys can go check out his stuff, Lions Talk by Chad Sports. Links in the description. Mike, we always appreciate you joining the program. It's always a blast. I can't wait till you're able to join during the season. I know it's been a ride, and you've been supporting us every step of the way here. I know it's the off season, but come the season, it's going to be exciting. But we appreciate you. Thank you.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. Look, it's the off season right now. We got about a month and a half, a lull period. If you're a Lions fan, take some time with the family, do something. I'm going on vacation for a week here on Thursday, so the videos will be dropped for everybody. But take some time and enjoy it, because as we know, Crunch Time Crew, it's about to get really, really crazy here soon, and we're gonna be busy, all of us.
Football season's always busy. Appreciate you, Mike.
Yeah, no doubt. There you go. MicroMike, the man.